Go ahead.
I don't know what I have to say.
All right, this is going to be the trig. Chapter 4, unit review. So, now, you guys like me a lot more after this than you did before. I don't know if that's possible, but you'll be like, oh, hey.
Can I get the answers to the test?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So there's a couple things we could do with these problems right here where it actually says graph. This is a multiple choice test. Be smart.
Yes.
Multiple choice test, that means the answer is on there.
It's really easy. Just
The answer is on there. Now, do you have a tool in your possession to help with this?
Yes.
What is it?
Calculator.
Calculator. Thank you. Calculator is the correct answer.
Yeah, just Google everything.
Now, you can't really. So I'm going to show you guys this, and it's going to be very helpful.
Do you think if I Google
I don't know.
equals sine 4/3x, that...
Okay, so now we're going to go to this right here. So we go to graph on the calculator, and what do I have to verify?
It's in the maximum.
Radian. Very good. So it's in radian. So we're working all in radian right now. So it's going to be sine of 4/3.
And you get up there by clicking tab, right?
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter right there, and you're going to see the wave. Now, look at your graphs. All your graphs, you notice?
And that pi and negative pi.
Okay, pi and negative pi. So we're going to go ahead and change my window. Menu. Go to window. Settings. So my x min, so how far to the left? That's negative pi. X max is positive pi.
Wait, pi, wait. Oh.
It's on your graph. Now, what's the y min?
We keep it at that.
What's the y min?
2 or negative 2.
So if you notice, 2, 2, 2, this one has 4. Okay, so let's try 2. I'm going to try 2 because most of them have 2. If my answer is 4, it would go way up above that, right?
Pacho, I was showing her how to do it. What did we put for the y max?
I'm trying to show you right now. I'm talking about it.
Okay.
So, if you notice, these are 2s, 2s, 2s. This one's 4s.
So you can already...
So I'm going to look at these ones right here. So I'm going to go with the 2s, and if that doesn't work, I could change it to 4 to see if that fits.
The answer is D.
So I'm going to put from negative 2, positive 2, hit enter. Now let's take a look. So automatically it is not A. Okay, what else is it not? Is it going to be C? It's not going to be C. That C goes up to 4, this one doesn't go up to 4. Okay, so it's either B or D. Now, if you notice, B goes up and it finishes over at pi, right? So if I'm looking at my graph, pi is way over here, isn't it? So this actually goes down below. This one right here, if you notice, you could actually just match it up. So the answer has to be D.
That's really easy. But you really don't even have to do any of that. You can just cancel out the answers that aren't
Now,
No.
let's take a look at number 2. Same thing here. So I'm going to do the same. So hit tab, go up. I'm going to clear off that one.
Did you say graph? Ow.
So 2 cosine of x
It's B.
right here. If you notice, I have to change my windows again. I have negative 2 pi to 2 pi, 4, 4. Same here. Let me zoom out a little bit.
That's going to be a long process, huh?
Nope. 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so window.
That one.
Welcome to Q.
So should be negative 2 pi,
Oh my god.
positive 2 pi, and it's going to negative 4. positive 4. Change my window. So I know I could get rid of A. It's down too low. C. Okay, it's intersecting the y-axis at the wrong spot. Now, is it D or B?
B.
So D, if you notice, is all shifted up, so it's not that one, so it has to be B.
We did it.
I'm gonna learn like that whole song, bro. We did it. We did it.
Okay, let's do this one. Tab, up, 1/2.
Oh, I got my makeup on your ball. I'm sorry.
I don't need that in my video.
Oh
Tan.
my
I meant your
God.
actual.
So again, now I have it on there. So now change my window. Negative pi, 3. Yep, there it goes. So all the windows are going to be the same on this one. So let's go ahead and change my window.
You can already cancel out A because it's going the opposite direction.
I probably could, but let me change my windows first.
You do it in such a long process, though.
I'm sorry. I thought I'm teaching here.
I know. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
But are you a millennial?
So right here.
No, he's not a millennial. You're Generation X, huh?
Okay, so negative 3 to 3. Now, let's take a look. So this one right here, it goes through at this point, so that means I could get rid of A. Okay, A is also going in the wrong direction. C is close. D, eh. Okay, so now, you think it's going to be D?
No.
B.
No, because it's not going together enough, right? Okay, so it's either B or D. Okay, so let's take a look. So let me see how many I have here.
It looks a lot like D.
So I'm going to look just on this side. I have 2 lines on this side. This one over here, I have 1, 2, 3 lines on this side, right?
Yep.
Now let's look at my graph. I have 3 lines just on the positive, right? So that means just by looking at the graph, comparing graphs, I could eliminate C. So my answer has to be B.
Pancho, I did something wrong.
What'd you do?
It's saying rail XY.
A, Rolex D.
Oh, bring it here, please. You changed it. You changed it. I'll show you how to fix it real quick. All right, number 4. Go right here. So.
We just
escape.
put everything in the calculator.
Wait, what did you do?
Wow. So now right here,
Looks like D.
escape that. So now do menu. You are going to graph right here, and yours was set to right here. So when you change it, so now you want function.
Okay.
If you change it back to function, it'll get you
Okay.
that. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
I think it is B. No.
Okay. Let's take a look. So, couple things. Is this going to be a sine or a cosine?
Cosine.
Let's take a look. You guys, it's either going to be a sine or a cosine. Because look, it says right here, sine or cosine. Where sine always starts at
0.
0, cosine starts at the,
1.
not 1, amplitude, right?
Yeah.
So, now, let's take a look over here.
Oh.
Since this is not starting at 0, it's not going to be sine. So let's get rid of my sine. It starts at the amplitude. So the amplitude is negative 2. It could be this one, so let's get rid of that one. Now, these are my other 2 choices here. I'm looking at the numbers, and the only difference is the number in front of the x. That's my b value, right? Okay, let's figure out the period. The period is going to be changed by that number. So let's take a look. So the period, so start to finish, if I look right here, so one period of this is going to be from here to here, right? And from here to here, so that's one whole period. There we go. So that's where it'll finish here. Let's figure out the period for this. Now to take this one right here, it would be 2 pi over 3, which is just 2 pi over 3, right? Okay, so this one over here, it's 2 pi divided by 1/3, right? Which would give me 2 pi over 1 times 3 over 1, which is 6 pi. So, which one, so this means right here that you would do a whole wave in 6 pi. This only goes from here to 2 pi, right?
How do you go back
So-
to the other tab?
Excuse me, what?
Oh, never mind, I figured it
So, this has 1, 2, 3, like 3 of these in this time. So I have 3 waves here. This one, I would have to do 6 pi to do 1 wave. Okay, so you know what a period is, right?
Yeah.
How far is it start to finish? So if it starts right here at 0, it's going to finish right here, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes? Okay, same thing here. There's another one, start to finish. Another one, start to finish. So every 2 pi over 3, it finishes a whole period. This one right here, if I were to use this one, it would have to do 6 pi to finish the whole thing. So if I were to graph this one right here, it'll start down here and right here. So it would go.
That's too much.
It would go all the way to 6 pi. So if this one was the answer, it would finish in 6 pi. But since this one is correct right here, it finishes faster here.
Can we just put it in the calculator?
You could plug each of these in the calculator also. But I'm just showing you a different way to actually do it.
Okay.
So we would actually change our window. What would I change this window to?
2 pi 0.
0 to 2 pi. So 0 to 2 pi.
And then 6 and -5.
And it'd be -5 to 6, right?
Yeah.
That's what my window would be. So if I'm actually trying to do this one here, I would change the window to this. Are we okay, Zoe?
Yeah. No, I know. I already did it.
Okay.
I would do the last 2.
All right. Let's keep going. All right. Find the amplitude. Amplitude is always what? The number in front of sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, right? Okay, so what's my amplitude here? It's going to be 5. What's the negative do?
Just give me the direction.
Yeah, it gives me a direction, tells me it goes down. So when I ask for amplitude, I'm going to say -5 because the negative tells you it's going down first. Okay, because that's actually part of the amplitude. Okay, but it is 5 units. So it's going to be 5 units up and 5 units down, right? So the amplitude is 5. All right, find the vertical translation. Vertical translation here is this number right here. So it's going to go down 3. -3 is down 3. Find the period. So to do the period, I would do what? No. Remember, it's something over b, right?
2 pi.
There we go. So it's 2 pi over 3. So it's 2 pi over b, right? And my b value is the number in front of my x. So it's 2 pi over 3.
D.
Okay? Give amplitude or period as requested. What's the amplitude of this? Period. What would I do for this? So there it is, 2 pi over 3, because 3 is my b value again. So 2 pi over 3, the answer is A.
Easy.
Okay, so number 10. So functions graphed, it could be cosine plus c, so that's going to give me a vertical shift, a sine plus c, okay, or phase shift, so it's one of them. So this one right here, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to set my window to this. I'm going to graph each one of these. Okay, this one right here, there is going to be a phase shift here, so it's going to mess you up. So just go ahead, graph, and see which one you're going to do. So I'm going to do the window first. Window. My window. What would my window be here?
Wait, I'm confused because C and D are the same thing.
No, they're not.
Sine of X.
No, this one right here has a vertical shift where this one has a phase shift. The parentheses means that much. Okay, so you guys, please, what is my window going to be here? What's my x values? Negative pi over 2 to what? 2 pi. Now, what's the y values going to be? Negative 2 to 2, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to change those windows. So it's negative pi over 2 to 2 pi. Negative 2 to positive 2. So I have my window there now. Let's go ahead and enter the functions. So my first function is going to be sine of x minus pi over 3. Okay, that looks really close. Okay, that one looks close. Let's try another one. Let's try the cosine. So now I'm going to show you guys how to graph multiple functions here. So hit tab. If you notice up here it says it has F2, right? This one is F2, so it's going to graph a second function on top. So I'm going to do this one, so it's cosine x minus pi over 6 Okay, so that one looks like it's a definite no. I'm going to hit tab again. I'm going to graph the third one. So it's sine of x minus pi over 6. That one's a maybe. And then do it again for my last one. Sine of x minus pi over 6.
Oh, so you leave the X in parentheses?
Yeah,
Okay.
because if you notice, this one's inside the parentheses where this one doesn't have it. So it's only the x.
Yeah, I just tried to graph it without parentheses at all, and then I was like, oh, you can't do that.
Over 6, like this. Hit enter. So now we're looking at all of them here. So we're looking at all of them here. So does this one right here, so the purple, does the purple look like?
No,
No, not the purple one, right?
it's too low.
It's too low, so I'm going to get rid of the purple one. So I'm going to say no to that one. So I could click on the purple right here and then just hit delete. There we go. That one's gone. All right, so which one else can I get rid of?
B. The red one.
The red one. Let's get rid of the red one. And the red one is cosine, right? So let's get rid of the cosine. So it's one of these two here. So let's take a look. A couple of these things I have to try and figure out. So let's figure out. Right here, it's supposed to be at 1. It's one of those two. Okay, 2 pi down here. So from this one, I'm going to actually go ahead and show you guys a trick to put in values. And move these so I can. So it's one of those two now. So let's put in values. So somewhere in between here. So I'm going to hit menu. I'm going to trace my graph. And so So let's go ahead and figure out where this one is. So I'm going to put in some values for this one. Okay, so let's see, at pi, I'm going to just hit the pi button, hit enter, it's way up here. Okay, so now let's try this one. I'm going to go down, I'm going to hit pi, that one's right there. So if I'm looking at it and I'm just looking and comparing this one right here to this one right here, so if you notice, I just picked a point and I picked pi because pi is about halfway down here. On this graph right here, it's going to be up higher. So I'm actually going to go with the black one for this one right here. So I could also check it for these values. So right here, okay. I could do the same thing on the other side. So if I was going to just hit 0, x equals 0 there, negative half, that looks like about negative half. So the black one is actually the better of these ones right here. So you got to go with what you think matches better for this one. So the black one is going to be, let me see, the sine of negative pi over 6. X minus pi over 6, so it's going to be C. So this way it is good to eliminate some of the things, but yeah, you get close and then you have to worry about it because you're trying to match to see, oh, what's this value here or certain other values. You know, it kind of stinks there, but you know, you got to go with it because you're not sure what values are in between. Like this is supposed to be 1/2, or this one same thing. Sorry, negative 1/2, and this one positive 1/2. You got to go with what your best guess is for those ones. All right. Graph the function over one period interval. So that means do all your steps. All your steps. So if I was going to do this one, so I have a graph here. Step 1. What is step 1? I only have one person paying attention.
Step 1.
Amplitude.
What is my amp? Negative 1/4. Step 2. Period's going to be what?
2 pi over b.
2 pi over, what is my b value here?
1.
Why is it 2? This one's already factored out, right? This one's already factored. So I don't actually have to do that. So because it's factored out already, there we go. Okay. All right. So period should be 2 pi over 2. So we get 2 pi over 2 here. So this is going to mean that my period is just going to be pi. Okay. So step 3. What's step 3 going to be? What is my phase shift going to be here? Just negative pi. Do you know why it's negative pi? The 2 is already factored out. We would normally go whatever this value is divided by my b, but the b value is already factored out here, so I don't even have to worry about that. So my phase shift is just going to be negative pi. All right, what's the next thing? What's my vertical shift? What goes after that? Parts. So my parts, 0, quarter, half, 3/4, and 1. Okay, what do I multiply this by? Pi. And then what do? Minus my phase shift. do the math. So 0 times pi is 0, so it gives me pi. So I have pi over 4 plus pi over 1. You guys see why I did pi over 1? So I could do the little trick with the cross. So if I'm going to add those, so it's going to be pi plus 4 pi over 4, which is 5 pi over 4. Are we still okay? I got some sleepers back there, so I want to make sure everyone is all right. This one right here, what do we get? Pi over 2 plus pi over 1, which is going to give me pi, right? Pi plus 2 pi over 2, which is 3 pi over 2.
I got this. So, how is it gonna be when you do it on the test? Like, you know how it's multiple choice? How do we, and we do it on the calculator?
It says to graph it over one period, so no. This one's like one of the other ones. You have to have all the steps.
So we're not. Really,
So you're going to have to know all this.
we just have to.
I don't know. I haven't even looked at the test for this.
Okay.
Maybe the test actually has one, full graph thing like this.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. All right, where am I at now? So I'm right here. 3 pi over 4 plus pi over 1, which is 3 pi plus 4 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4. Next one, so it's going to be pi plus pi, which gives me 2 pi. So here's everything over one period. So I'm going to use one of these graphs here. So if I were to use this, darken it here. So let's call this one right here 2 pi. Next one would be 7 pi over 4, 3 pi over 2, 5 pi over 4, and pi. So I have my increments. They're on this. They're all on the right hand side here. My amplitude is -1/4. So I should go down that far. So let's see, cosine, this is a cosine. Cosine starts at my amplitude, so it'd be at pi down here. Next one goes up. Keep going up, down, and in there. So there's the graph over one period.
That is so tiny.
Let's get a picture.
It's almost like we have a video of it. You could, yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, so let's keep going.
Wait.
Next problem. Number 12. Multiple choice. Hey, look, just match the graph. Now, if I'm matching the graph, what is my x values here?
Two. No.
What are my x values?
X is 0.
Start it. No, you start at 0.
0 to pi.
So it's going to be 0 to pi. What are my y values? 0 to 5, because it's lower bound. The lowest part first. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and clear this. Alright, hit tab. So I'm going to enter that function. 2 plus 1 over 3 sine of 2x minus pi. Close it. Enter.
Whoa.
Change my window. And it's supposed to be from 0 to pi. And from 0 to 5. Okay, so this one starts a little bit up and goes down first. So let's see. It doesn't look like, so let's get rid of A. I can get rid of C. So it's either these two right here. Which one's that going to be? Answer's going to be B.
Wait. Oh.
I know
I know.
Find the phase shift. We know what that is.
Alright, phase shift. On 13, phase shift should be an easy one here because my B value is 1.
Press negative.
Okay, so negative pi over 4. So what does that tell me?
B pi to the right.
Down.
To the right. It goes to the right, pi over 4.
It's asking for the same thing. For 14.
Okay, what is the phase shift here? So now this one is going to be negative pi over 4 divided by B. What is my B value here? 4. So it's negative pi over 4 1/4, right? Multiply by the reciprocal. So I should get negative pi over 16. So it means it's pi over 16 to the
Right.
to the right.
You right?
Yep. Remember, it's always opposite. The left and right's always opposite. Negative goes to the right, positive goes to the left.
We do that when the number is next to the x, right?
Yes, because on this one there is a b, so it's going to be this number divided by b, because it has to be factored first.
So it will be 8.
Yes, it is a. Alright, I have about a minute left. I'm trying to actually finish this last one. Okay, what are my windows going to be on this one? Negative 2 pi to 2 pi. What is my y? Negative 3 to 3. Let's hurry up and change that real quick.
Wait, use the
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're matching all of these. Now listen up, you're matching all these, so that means that you're going to put in a couple here. So you're going to put in all of these, so it's going to be sine of x minus pi over 3. Hit enter. So you would just go through and match all these. So you're going to actually put all of them. So we sewed this one, which is my first one here. It's going to be,
C.
this one is C.
And
So
there's only one
1
answer.
is C. So 1 is C. So in my multiple choice it says 1C. So that means that A has to be the combination for that one. Alright, you guys, don't forget, like and subscribe. Go watch the crap out of this video.
Cyber Monday merch is out. 5% off.
Yes. Go to my page.
Second Monday was yes.
5% off or $5 off your first loot crate.
Or if we watch it, we get 5.